Hey guys, welcome back. This is Luis. So in the previous videos, we looked at how to share the files and the folders, and then we were able to access the file through the network using the path of the folder. Now in this video, we are going to actually watch how to make sure that if a person does not belong to a particular group, then the person cannot access the file that belongs to the other group. So to do this, we have to look at how to disable inheritance. Remember, we said that in permission, we have what we call inherited permissions, and then we have what we call explicit permission. Now by default, when you check the properties of the subfolders within the work files we created, when you right click on it and you go to properties, you're going to notice two things. You're going to notice that authenticated users are enabled here, and then they have the permissions that they've been given, and then also there's another set of users called the member server users. So if we want to make sure that the people who do not belong to a particular group will not be able to access that particular folder, then we have to take off the authenticated users and then also take off the member server users. Then we can now add explicitly the people that we want them to have access to this folder, which would be if it's HR managers and then HR users. So let me show you this. You can't just click on this, go to edit and then select remove, go to edit and click remove like we did for the others, because this is not an explicit permission, this is an inherited permission. So before we can remove any access control entry from this list, we have to first convert the inherited permission into an explicit permission. So cancel out of here and then click advanced. Now when you come here, you notice we have something here called disable inheritance. So we want to disable inheritance. Now it says, what would you want to do with the inherited permissions that this system already has? Okay, so what we want to do is, if we have two options. We can either convert the permission into explicit permission, or we can remove all the inherited permissions from this object. Now if we remove all the inherited permissions, it means we have to come back and set the permissions again. But then there are some entities that are required to have permission, like the administrators, like the system, the creator. So we are going to convert this so that we only take off the entries that we don't want to have on this folder. So click convert inherited permission to explicit permissions on this object. So now it has been cleared, but unless we apply before it will actually take effect. So you click apply. So once we've clicked apply, the next thing is we can now click on the users and then remove the other users too, and then remove, then authenticated users and then also remove. Then now we can add. So when you click add, you click select a principal, then you can type HR, because we are working on the HR folder. So check names, then HR managers first. Okay, then give them modify, then you click OK, then you add again. This time it's going to be HR again, but this time the users, check names, HR users, then OK, another OK, then modify, then OK, then apply. Then we can also decide to replace all child object permission entries with the inherited permission from this object. Yes, we want to do that, so check that and then also apply. Yes, and then OK. So now what we have done is only the people who are from HR will be able to access this folder called HR. Anybody else won't be able to do that. So we are going to repeat the same process for MIS and then sales, and because I've taken time to go through it with HR, I'm just going to do it so you can just repeat the same process. So you right click, properties, security, advanced, disable inheritance, convert, apply, remove users, then authenticated users also removed. Then you apply. Then now you can add. So select MIS, check names, MIS manager, OK, modify, OK, then add again, select MIS, check names, users, OK, modify, okay, then replace, apply, yes, okay, okay. So we do it, finally we do it for sales also. So properties, then we have security, advanced, disable inheritance, convert, apply, now remove, then add, select principal, sales, check names, sales manager, okay, so you modify, okay, then add again, select principal, sales, check names, sales users, okay, modify, okay, apply, okay. So let's quickly go back to the client system and then check this out. So I'm going to minimize this, bring up my client. So this is my client. I go to my desktop, then I will try to access the file again using the path. So it's already there. So because authenticated users have access to the parent folder, the parent folder opens, but then we will be able to find out who or where which group this user is from, because he won't be able to access a file that is not from his group. So he's been able to access HR, that's good. But then MIS says Windows cannot access this folder because he's not a member of MIS. So now we know that this user we are working with is a member of HR. Then we can close this, and then again the same thing. Are we okay? All right, so now let's cancel out of this. Okay, why don't we actually decide that fine, even though we've set permissions, if you don't belong to that group, you can't open it. Let's take things further and make it even better. If you can't access it, then you shouldn't even see the folder. If you can't access it, you shouldn't see that the folder has been shared. So let's minimize this, come back to here, then go to the server manager. Then let's click on, okay, when the server manager is downloading, we are going to click on file and storage services, then click on shares. Then we have work files here, that's our shared folder. Right click on it and go to properties. Now once you click the properties, go to settings. Now there's this settings here called enable access-based enumeration. Access-based enumeration displays only the files and folders that a user has permission to access. If a user does not have read or equivalent permission for a folder, Windows hides the folder from the person. That sounds great. So if a person is not from a particular group, then they should not be able to even know that the file exists. So you can check this and then apply and then okay. So let's go back to the client system and see what happens. So if when we come here and then we refresh, let me just close this and then try to re-access it. Windows R. Wow, it's still there. Okay, sometimes you just have to sign out and then sign in again before you actually see that what you've done has really taken effect. But then let me also verify that my access-based enumeration was properly saved. Let me just check again, properties, settings. Okay, yeah, it was properly saved. So we just have to, sometimes it's just a matter of logging out and then logging in again for the effect to actually occur. So we come back here and then we try to access the folder again, and now you notice that it's only HR that the person can see. So besides restricting permission or making sure that the people cannot actually access what they are not permitted to, you can also decide that if they can't access it, then they should not see it. So we can actually even go down in the hierarchy and also make sure that people who are not managers cannot see the managers folders, but managers should be able to see the users and the managers folder. In that case, you will have to go and remove the HR users from the HR managers, and you can do the same thing for MIS. You can do the same thing for sales. So depending on what the security objective of your organization is, you can set your permissions anyhow you want the permission to be. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. If this video has helped you, like it, share it, and tell your friends to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.